time and possibly money learning and upskilling, you want to make sure that it's interesting to you so that you stay with it and that it's exciting and it'll be relevant to your goals.
Yeah, I love that. And really that answered the deeper question there, right? That I was getting to. So I do love that. Well, we did have Chris Berryman join us, and some of you may know him, some of you may not, but he's a dear friend and he is the co-founder of Bringing Humanity Together. He'll set me straight when I bring him on. So come on, Chris, and say hello to everybody.
Well, hello everyone. Hello there, Greg, and of course, Jenny. Just so humble and honored to be here with you guys today. And hello, Dr. New. Glad that you are here too as well. I want to jump into the conversation because I did put it in the chat when Greg was talking about the technology from not only from the personal side of things, but also the professional side of things. We truly believe here, bringing humanity together, that human development piece. So, on that note, Greg, whether to be technology or not, how can we bring that humanity in a way that creates an environment that where everyone can grow and thrive in? How would that look like and mean to you?
Well, as I mentioned, coming from the IT community, it is a very positive community personally and professionally. And I think that resonates a lot with what we talk about at Bringing Humanity Together. And it would certainly be a blueprint that we could use for that. Um, they have a lot of what's called open source material, whether it's software or what have you. And what that means is that the source code for the programming is available to the end user so they can understand how it's built, how it works. They have the opportunity to help develop it, to create something new from it, as opposed to proprietary stuff where the end users don't have access to how it was built or how it works. And I think we could use that as a template and a blueprint in other places in our personal and professional lives, right? Just sharing what we know, helping collaborate to make it better, and maybe build something new from it as a foundation.
Yeah, I love that because I think it's so true, and collaboration certainly definitely is the what's the word I was looking for? It's the currency of the future, right? It's currency of the future.
Value.
Yes, the value and the currency, and we're creating that right now, right? So
Yep.
Chris, tell us what is it that what do you have, what's going on over at Humanity, and how can anyone that's listening, if they haven't heard about you or seen or met you before, how can they become involved? You know, all the good stuff. Give me the juice. Give me the
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jenny. The way you can just join Bringing Humanity Together is number one, be open to willing to show up. And see, that's the only thing we ask of any person in this great and growing community is if you're willing to show up, and I will go back to what John C. Maxwell says in his great teachings, and it comes from these three words about listening, learning, and leading. I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, we can all become better listeners, then we can all become better learners, and then we can all become better leaders in and of itself. And Sharon, glad to see you here too as well today. Thank you so much for being here. And it's about literally when you think about it, Jenny and Greg, we're creating an environment not only of the one that we love, but then maybe the ones that other people can love in a way that connects us all, which is I've said many times on our programs, Jenny, that the one thing that interconnects us all is our very humanity. And once we tap into that, I truly believe it's literally game on. Literally, the field dreams will be real to a lot of people. But we want to do it, Jenny and Greg, and I truly believe in this, and we believe it too as well here, bringing humanity together, is that we want to create it in a way not only is backed by intentionality, but it's also backed by flow. Because what's the one thing constant throughout life, ladies and gentlemen, which is change. Change is that constant. We can't control it. We can't manipulate it. We can't put it in a box. We can't do any of that. Even though we try, we can't get there. and everything like that. But then again, if we allow that change to flow and grow, we will flow and grow and maybe even thrive from that very change, because we just know that if we can allow that to occur. But then also in tandem with that, you go to a place of alignment and agreement. And Jenny and Greg, I truly believe, and we truly believe here, bringing humanity together, if you allow that alignment and agreement kind of dynamic flow into, of course, flow into intentionality, the next thing you know, people can be at your service, or you can be at their service, because you are making it about them and not about you, and you put it on their timetable, not on yours. And I truly believe once we do that, people may say, hey, Greg, I love IT world and I'm such in agreement with it, but I'm not yet into alignment with it because I don't know what I don't know and everything like that, and what I should know. But then again, it might be the same thing with you, Jenny. It's like, hey, Jenny, I'm in such in alignment with so many things that you stand for, but I may not yet be in agreement. But if you create that space and place for people, and also give people and yourself grace, then you create literally an ecosystem to where we can all grow and thrive together, and just lead with our very humanity every day in every way, and still allow others to do the very same. Case in point, I kid you not, I just had a friend of mine just called me on the phone because he went and told something to his boss about there was a receivable thing coming on this truck. And I kid you not, he's like, "Hey, just want to let you guys know this is what's going on. It's not right. Just want to give you a heads up." And the next word out of the guy's mouth to my friend, I kid you not, is like, if it's not important, don't even tell me. But it's kind of important because it's going to affect, of course, the money kind of thing. But he's like, hey, just want to let you know about this. And the next words out of his mouth is, get the, you know what, out. And he's like, I'm gone. But see, why do we do that, ladies and gentlemen? Why do we actually let our emotions take over of where we want to go? So, especially in the IT world, Greg, how would you approach that if someone comes to you and say, I have a source code that I have to tell you about this and it's very important? How would you actually interact with that kind of situation that really not only will being seen and heard, but really understanding how you can move forward?
Well, certainly with the volatility of technology, um, especially as end users, we just expect it to work all of the time, 24/7. And so when it doesn't, emotion gets involved with that,
Mm-hmm.
particularly with business, right? When every second of every minute of every hour that the technology it doesn't work, there's a loss of revenue, and that can add up very quickly into hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's when emotions run high. So we have to be conscious of how we respond with emotion
Mm-hmm.
in order to be able to identify the the immediate needs of the moment, and then be able to rationally respond and engage. And so it's a constant awareness of our emotional response.
I think that it's bringing humanity to everything. It,
Yes.
it's a matter of looking at IT in itself as a whole, as a sentient being. It needs to be seen. It needs to be heard. It needs to be appreciated. It needs to be taken care of. It can get sick, right? It can have little bugs, all of the things. It's a sentient being. And at the end of the day, I hear this word a lot, and it's grace. And I love that we're using the word grace, but grace and the way that we're using it really is another word, and that is forgiveness. And really, because we're forgiving somebody for being late, we're forgiving somebody for this or that or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
But just as love, we can only go as far with that as we have with ourselves. So the real problem, really, if you want to know, is that we cannot, as a society, admit to our capability of all of humanity. And that's why there are parts of humanity that are not treated as humanity at all. homeless, incarcerated, right? And the list goes on and on and on. They're not really treated humanely, and that's because we have an issue believing that we could be that person, that we could do the things that that person has done, which is all a part of our humanity. So what's missing there, right, is the forgiveness. But the forgiveness is the bridge in those instances. Actually, it's courage and then it's forgiveness. But that's the bridge to being able to be collaborative, to be empathetic, to be compassionate, to be loving, and to give joyfully, and all of those things. And so, really, at the end of the day, that's the, you know, that's the issue. And on a personal level, that's what we can all do to be the change, is take those deep dives within ourselves, and discover all of our own humanity, come to love every single piece of ourselves, every part of ourselves, the good, the bad, the ugly, the slimy, right? And what you come to realize is that none of it's actually really bad, ugly, or slimy. It's just all part of the experience. And I think that when we can do that, especially with things like IT, something that we see that's not as human, I look at my business as a sentient being. It needs to be fed, it needs drink, it needs rest, it needs attention and care, it needs communication, right? It needs all of these things. And when we can look at every single thing as if it is sentient, and go about living our life that way, you change everybody's world just simply by being in their, in their presence. And I know that you all, get that. Hello. I want to take just 1 second, because at the beginning I did a little congratulatory giveaway, and two of the people that are here now were not here then, and they're two of the recipients. So I'm going to interrupt for just a moment and redo that. So Sharon Byrne, thank you so much for your presence, for your support, for sharing, for commenting, for being present for the NeuroGlamming Summit. And today being the last day, I wanted to be sure to thank you for that publicly. And also, I want to invite you into my program, the Label Academy, for a full year. So if you would like to receive that, you just message me back, let me know, and we're going to make that happen. Okay. And I hope that the answer is yes. And I look forward to being able to grow with you. Queen Kaylin, the same. Thank you so much for your presence. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for promoting my YouTube channel that I just made brand new at the beginning of this summit. Thank you for helping support me, even when you didn't know me, because you know a mutual friend. And that's the heart of collaboration. That's the heart of the future. And I love and thank you so much. And so I'm also extending an invitation to you to come join me for a year inside of my Label Academy. So if you're interested, if you would like to do that too, just send me a message. And thank you and congratulations. I think that we could just give them a round of applause, because they deserve it. You deserve it just simply for being. But I have the opportunity to acknowledge that. And so thank you for that honor. Thank you for letting me do that really quick.
Absolutely. Sharon has some great nuggets of wisdom in the comments. One of them, where she says that collaboration, not competition, is how the world gets better and humanity rises. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone has value. Circling back to your point, talking about certain populations in society that may be deemed, less valuable or undesirable. Just not true. There's
It's
have
not.
different experiences and different journeys of how they got to where they're at, but
Exactly.
everyone has value.
Mhm.
Part of what makes us human is, that we make mistakes,
Yes.
but it's how we recover from those mistakes, how we learn and how we grow is what makes us better.
Yeah.
And certainly within technology, there's lots of mistakes that get made all the time. It's just part of the process. Um, but again, professionally, how we recover from that, how we learn and how we grow. Um, when we remove the transactional nature of our engagements, whether they're personally or professionally, right, and eliminates the need for a binary style competition of someone has to win and someone has to lose, right? And we kind of take expectation out of it, like Chris had mentioned, and we just allow it to exist, and we benefit and grow together mutually to move forward in a positive way. One of the philosophies of bringing humanity together that really resonates with me. I help you, you help me, and we help we. And I truly believe that. And as the saying goes, rising tide lifts all boats.
Yes.
And I truly believe that's how we can move forward as a society, as a community,
Yeah.
personally and professionally.
Absolutely. I totally agree. There's um and it's about solutions. It's about coming together and creating solutions. We all know what the problems are per se. We all know, what that is. So how can we come together and create solutions for those areas, which is another reason that I love what you're doing in the IT world, because even just this new position that you're taking with when we talked about it just for a second, but the replacement of some of the systems that have been in place for a really long time for all the wrong reasons through electrical vehicle or a remote vehicle, or I don't know what the correct language there is, but it's an incredible phenomenal change. It's a world changer. And what we have to be able to do, I think, is realize those things that are world that are for the betterment of humanity. And how can we, do you think, do that? Right. I mean, we know, I say we know, but most of us here, I think, do know. We're mindful, we're conscious, we pay attention, we know that we need to adapt and do things for the betterment of the whole rather than just individually, right? But and we know how to work through fear, and we know how to work through all of those areas. But what if someone's listening and they don't? And what if they really are truly terrified of, let's just say, IT, right? What if they're truly terrified of what could happen because of the movies, right? Because of what we've grown up with sci-fi and all those kinds of things. What do you say to them?
Well, I think it's important for those who have such an intense passion and desire to make change that we lead by example, right? And that through that um, we create a safe and welcoming and encouraging space for others to join us, right? We make it a collaborative effort. Um, and I think with that, people who are curious will want to engage with that, just because they're drawn to it and how it resonates with them. And certainly not only how we conduct ourselves, but then how we engage with outreach through groups like Bringing Humanity Together, right? Like, hey, this is what we're trying to achieve. This is the group that we've collected to help enable and empower that, and we invite you to join us.
And I like to take it a step further, Jen and Greg. It's the way that we could do that to really get it from the transactional to the transformative is recognize everyone is going to have a different need and want in and of itself in the
Very true.
discussion and everything like that. Because some people are only going to be there maybe for the money, and that's okay. I have no problem with that. And there's just some people who are wanting to end up being a part of something bigger than of themselves. Those people who not only take ownership, but they actually are wanting to lead in that way that gets more people involved, create more engagement, create more transformative opportunities. And what comes to mind, uh, Jenny and Greg, it's about that great video from a great champion debater in her own right from Australia. Her name is Julia Dar. And what Julia Dar states in that, and I'll put the video in the comment section here in just a little bit, is there's three key things once you watch this video. There's a big key takeaways on everything that we do, not only in life, but literally in business too as well. She's like, can we choose curiosity over clash? And I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, we're on that very precipice right here, right now. That a lot of people like Jenny and Greg and myself and all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together are wanting to choose that curiosity. And you know why? If we get to know people for who they really are, not because of what they do or what they want, but that's a little component of it to a certain degree. But if we really get to know them on that deep and meaningful human level, that literally changes the game from the transactional to the transformative. Number two, she gets into the second point when you watch the video is, can you, from that curiosity and turning it from a place of not only of really wanting to know more, but you're willing to let go of that clash. Maybe you can use conversations like just like the one we're having right here, right now, to move the needle and dialogue forward. And then maybe, Jenny and Greg, maybe even at the very end of the day, then we can all be rooted in common purpose. And I love what you just shared there, Sharon. Perspective is everything. To understand someone else's perspective makes a world of difference. 100% spot on, Sharon. You're absolutely on point with that. Because again, I want to see or even believe what Greg sees and believes. And again, that's where that alignment and agreement kind of dynamic comes into play. Same thing with Jenny. I want to be able to see and believe what she sees and believes. But just take it for what it is versus what it's not. Because if I put myself at the center of that, what's it always going to be about? It's always going to be about me. Or it's always going to be about the money. It's always going to be about the profit. It's always going to be about the bottom line. But what about the bottom line of people? Mm-hmm. The value of people in and of itself, the ROI that people want. And when we start recognizing that, ladies and gentlemen, the transactional will be no longer really needed for a lot of people. Some people will have that, and I absolutely understand that. But the transformative will literally be coming about because we transform people one conversation at a time, one opportunity at a time, or even in that one moment in time. And think about this, and it comes from the great John C. Maxwell in and of itself. What does he say in his great book, The 21 Influential Laws of Leadership? Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. It's not a title, it's not a rank, it's not even a position. It's influence. And I'm going to put this call to action to each and every single one of you today. How are you going to show up when not only your influence, but your very humanity today? How will you not only transform others' lives today, but how can you allow them to transform yours?
Yeah, it's important to be able to give and receive. And I do love that. And it's not about being, self-centered. It's about being centered in self and then being able to serve. And so we have just a few minutes left in our allotted time. And so I want to give you both a moment just for, one more closing statement or, one last thing that you want to be able to tell everyone that's listening today about um, anything, right? What's your main point for you, I guess, today as you yourself are walking out of this engagement? What's the takeaway for you?
Well, I just wanted to touch real quick on what we were just talking about and maybe land on that. So, one of the things I learned and stuck with me during my professional training was dealing through customer service conflict resolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that when you're discussing an issue, right, there's the way that you see it, the way that I see it, and then how it actually is,
Yeah.
right? And speaking to what Chris was talking about, right, when we kind of remove our ego and our expectations and what we're looking to get out of it, and just really look at it and let it exist for what it actually is, so that there's a copacetic and a mutual engagement and benefit from it. And then also later on in my career, I was involved with a professional development program through one of my employers called Lead from Any Chair. And
Mhm.
also, right, it doesn't matter what your title is, what your responsibilities are, there's a leader in every single one of us. And we can start that journey and lead by example from any point.
Mm-hmm. I love that because any point that you're starting from is a point of experience. We're never starting, from a place of nothingness or a place of nowhere or back to square one where I have no, we're always on a square of experience. And that's our experience. And that's what makes us unique. And, I want to just remind all of us too, though, right, that yes, there are things that we want to change and there are systems that we know that are failing, and we're building systems to be able to integrate to repair those systems and all of those things. But let us not forget that if we're able to have a communication with anyone at all, we are seeing them for their humanity. We are being empathetic. We are being all of those things because we are all so far away from each other in our experiences that we have to be standing on those bridges and walking on those stepping stones to be able to speak to anyone. So let's not forget that too, right? That we are able, capable, and doing what it is that we want to do. And it's not about doing things better. It's about doing them differently. What is it that you want to do different? And today's steps were just fine. But what do you want to do different now? Now that you know what you know, what do you want to do different? Go ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'd like to end and close it here. And Diane, glad that you're here too as well. And Mary, I just sent you a link to my LinkedIn page. And Mary, let's connect. I want to just put it down in just this phrase: lead by permission, not position.
Mm-hmm.
If we can start doing that, ladies and gentlemen, not only will the transformative be there, but also the connectivity will be there if you just allow that to occur.
Yeah.
And again, we're so interconnected to one another, it's not even funny. But if we can not only embrace the similarities to one another, that's going to be a great thing in and of itself. And you're absolutely right, Mary. Start where you are, 110%. But also, again, if we can embrace others for their differences, for that which makes us whole, not only will it make them whole, but it will make us whole. And that quote comes from Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And I truly believe in that. So that's the way I'll end this call today. And Jenny and Greg, thank you for allowing me to be here with you guys. It's been such a great, amazing honor and opportunity in and of itself.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And I am extremely honored always to be in both of your presence and to collaborate together and conversate and, look at what it is that we can do to do differently to create what it is that we all have together in the same notion. So thank you
That's-
both. Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say real quick, thank you both, uh, Jenny, for inviting me to be a part of the summit, and also to Chris for being part of bringing humanity together. I'm
Yeah.
very humbled and honored to be a part of both. Thank you, and thank everyone for coming today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we
Yes.
greatly appreciate you guys. You guys have a fantastic Friday. Make it your day, and let's connect, collaborate, and build community.
Okay. So, if you all don't mind hanging around just for one moment, I've got a surprise, but I am going to remove you, Chris and Greg, so that you can join out in the comments, or you can go on about your day, whatever it is that you need to do. Thank you so much. Love you both. And we'll talk soon. Okay. All right. Yes. So, Mary, also embrace that you are, and love yourself. Give yourself grace. Then make the changes needed. Make progress, not excuses. I love that, right? Because when we are empowered, we're empowered to make those kinds of decisions where we do cut away all other options that are keeping us from the things that it is that we want. Our excuses, the beliefs that are not serving us, the all of those different things. So I love that, Mary. Thank you so much for being here. And I did want to invite and extend an invitation to you all. Today was the last day of the NeuroGlamming Summit, but I just was not and am not ready to not spend time with you all. And so I am going to extend the event. It's going to change just a little bit. So what I'm inviting to you is that I will be doing a 5-day challenge, Monday through Friday of this next week. The times will change, and all of the new information I will put out on across all of my socials. But one of the things that happened in the world in the last several years is what I call and this is going to my specific area of niche, and that's in branding, right? And so there's a brand Mageddon that is happening right now on the planet. And there are 10 plagues of branding. And I want to help you be able to see and know if you are infected or not with these 10 brand Mageddon plagues. Okay. So what that's going to look like is Monday through Friday, we're going to do an explanatorium about what all of that means for you to be able to see, yes, oh my gosh, I have this happening in my business now, or oh my gosh, I do not. And as you can see, and as you all well know, I love to embody and encompass and bring in the fun of being able to do the makeup. So that's what this is all about, right? I was really sick, and now I'm not so sick anymore. My brand's doing better, right? So I will be encompassing and embodying and doing different looks, fun looks for this brand Mageddon every single day. So I have an actual video that I want to share with you all, and it's a couple of minutes, but this to me is a fun little production piece to explain a little bit about the brand Mageddon. Okay. And so I'm going to do a share screen in just a moment, and when I get it pulled up here, and let the video do the explaining for me. And I have to go all the way back. And I have to go out. I'm not techie, guys. Of course, I need to be techie right now. Okay, give me just 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. Just I think it's about 3 minutes. And if you're sensitive to moving video, as something I actually just thought of as I was fixing to pull this up, that you might want to just listen and not watch. Okay. All right, here we go. kaleidoscopic realms of creativity, there emerged an avant-garde force known as chroma. This unconventional entity sought to redefine the very essence of branding, transcending the ordinary and embracing the extraordinary. At the heart of chroma stood a visionary creative named Uniqua. Uniqua was not merely a creator, but an alchemist of ideas, blending colors of the unexpected and forging narratives that danced on the edge of imagination. Uniqua's quest was to infuse brands with a spirit that resonated beyond the mundane, to create an experience that left an indelible mark on the soul. The birth of avant-garde branding is an unfolding. Uniqua, with an ensemble of like-minded influencers like you, embarked on a journey through uncharted territories of design and sound and language. They sought inspiration from the whispers of the unconventional, the echoes of the unexplored, and the harmonies of the yet discovered. And in their pursuit, they stumbled upon the forgotten corners of creativity where boundaries blurred and norms dissolved. It was in these enigmatic spaces that chroma uncovered the secrets of true avant-garde expression. They found that the essence of a brand could be more than a logo or a tagline. It could be an immersive narrative, a symphony of visuals and a sensory experience. The chroma became the nexus where tradition met innovation and conformity gave way to create agents of change. The avant-garde branding movement was born not out of defiance, but of a deep reverence for the unexplored possibilities that lay beyond the horizon of convention. And so the avant-garde experience became the cry of chroma. A call to those daring enough to embrace the unconventional, a beacon for brands seeking to transcend the unoriginal and step into a realm where creativity knows no bounds. Today, Uniqua continues to shape the landscape of branding, leaving a trail of avant-garde experiences that defy expectations, challenge perceptions, and invite the world to reimagine the very essence of branding identity. 4 years ago, Chroma received this transmission from planet Earth. There has been a breach in the old paradigm systems, and the great resignation has begun. We rejoice that solopreneurs are on the rise. Their call of innovation is rising. We are failing. Brandmageddon, plagues, sin.
So, Planet Earth's Brandmageddon and the 10 Plagues 5-day explanatorium. I didn't even check those dates on there. That's funny. So that is what we'll be doing in the next week for the next 5 days. I hope you all join me. And also, don't forget to reach out. It's not too late to get your free ticket to come and participate in the Trash Bag Gala tomorrow evening at
4 Pacific, 5 Mountain, 6 Central, 7 Eastern. And I'll also put a reminder post out about all of that. Thank you all for hanging out with me for the last 2 weeks through the NeuroGlamming Summit, and today for the last 1 hour, 13 minutes. I appreciate you all so very much. I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Have a great journey day and a fabulous weekend. See you on Monday, or hopefully tomorrow at the Trash Bag Gala. It's free. Just reach out. All right. Thank you. Bye.